Have you ever said the exact same polite sentence, yet the other person suddenly went cold and you could not explain why? Have you ever followed every official process, did everything correctly, and still got stuck in a place that felt invisible, like you hit a wall made of air? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about something many people pretend does not exist, even while it shapes their life every day. The unspoken rules of human relationships. Some people hear the phrase unspoken rules and immediately feel disgust, like it must be dirty, like it must be manipulation, like it must be the dark side of society. I understand that reaction, but let us approach this with awakening and wisdom instead of extremes. Because the truth is simple. There are written rules that tell you what you should do, and there are unwritten rules that tell you how people actually feel, how they decide, and how they move. If you only understand the written rules, you can still lose. If you only understand the unwritten rules, you can win in the short term but lose your integrity, lose your peace, and lose your blessings. Real mastery is to understand both, then walk the middle way. That middle way is not weakness. It is clarity with compassion. It is skill without corruption. It is protection without harm. And when you live like that, you do not get trapped by hidden traps. And you also do not become the kind of person who creates straps for others. Let me begin with a story. I met a young man years ago. I will call him Xing. He was hardworking and sincere. He followed procedures. He was direct. In his heart, he believed that right is right and wrong is wrong. And if he tells the truth clearly, the world will respect him. But his life kept getting stuck in strange ways. At work, when a meeting ended, people would leave and decisions would be made later in the hallway without him. He would discover it only after everything was settled. He thought the team was unfair. He thought they were playing games. He felt angry and isolated. In group projects, he would point out problems on the spot. Sometimes he was correct. Sometimes he saved the team from mistakes. Yet the atmosphere would suddenly tighten. People would smile politely and then stop talking to him. Later, he would feel like nobody supported him. He would think, I am the only honest person here. Why am I being punished for being honest? He started to hate the phrase unspoken rules. He said it was the reason good people suffer and bad people succeed. When he told me his frustration, I did not argue with his values. His values were not wrong. But I asked him a question. When you speak truth, do you protect the person's dignity while you protect the truth? He looked confused. So I asked another question. In front of others, do you put the correctness of the matter in front of the person's face? He frowned. He said, face should not matter. If they are wrong, they are wrong. That sentence sounds brave, but it hides a misunderstanding about human nature. Human beings do not absorb truth like machines. They absorb truth through emotion. People feel first, then they understand. If you make someone feel unsafe, embarrassed, or attacked, their mind closes. Even if you are correct, you lose the person. And when you lose the person, you lose cooperation. When you lose cooperation, your road becomes narrow. You may still be right, but you become alone. This is the first layer of the unspoken rules. People defend dignity before they defend logic. Now, I am not saying you should lie. Wisdom is not blindness. Wisdom is not pretending you did not see what you saw. Wisdom is choosing the method that reduces suffering and increases understanding. Xing was doing something very common. He was using truth like a blade. A blade can cut through illusion, yes, but it also leaves wounds. And wounds become resentment. Resentment becomes silent resistance. Silent resistance becomes obstacles. Then you feel cursed. But the curse is not supernatural. It is cause and effect. This is karma in daily life. You plant the cause of making people feel small, even if you did not intend to. You harvest the result of fewer allies and fewer open doors. When I said this, Zhu Xing became defensive. He asked the question many honest people ask. So what? I should swallow everything and become fake? No. That is the other extreme. The middle way is to keep your integrity while upgrading your skill. So I asked him to imagine two different ways of doing the same thing. In the first way, you correct someone in public with a sharp tone. The group laughs nervously. The person smiles, but inside they feel humiliated. In the second way, you wait, then you speak to them privately. You say, I see what you were trying to do, and I respect your effort. There is one risk here that might hurt the project. Can we adjust it together? In both ways, you protected the project. In the second way, you also protected the person. That protection is compassion. And compassion is not only moral beauty. Compassion is practical power. Compassion creates trust. Trust opens doors. Zhu Xing argued again. He said, but why should I protect their feelings if they are wrong? Because your goal is not to win a moment. Your goal is to live a life that keeps expanding. A life with stable relationships, stable cooperation, and stable blessings. If you only win moments, you can lose years. That is the second layer of unspoken rules. People remember how you made them feel longer than they remember what you said. Some people call this emotional intelligence. Some call it social skill. In spiritual language, it is part of compassion and right speech. Right speech does not mean speaking softly all the time. Right speech means speaking in a way that is true, beneficial, timely, and not rooted in ill will. When your words are true but rooted in pride, they still create bad karma. When your words are true and rooted in care, they create merit. Now let us go deeper. Why do people who understand human relationships often seem more relaxed, more at ease, more free? Because they do not fight battles that do not matter. Because they know which door requires logic and which door requires trust. Because they know when to speak and when to pause. Because they know how to protect boundaries without creating enemies. Because they know that the world is not only made of rules, it is made of hearts, and hearts are sensitive. Now, I want you to notice something important. Understanding unspoken rules does not require you to become dirty. It requires you to become awake. Awake means you see the hidden layer without being controlled by it. Some people see the hidden layer and become cynical. They become manipulative. They treat life like a game and treat people like pieces. That is not wisdom. That is delusion wearing a suit. Other people refuse to see the hidden layer and become naive. They get hurt repeatedly, then become bitter, then blame the world. That is also delusion, just a different shape. Wisdom is to see clearly and stay clean. That is why today I want to talk about unspoken rules through the lens of karma and compassion. Because if you learn these rules without a moral compass, you can grow your power but destroy your destiny. Power without virtue is unstable. It creates fear, enemies, and eventually collapse. But if you learn these rules with virtue, you can move through complexity without losing your heart. Let us return to Zhu Xing and watch what changed when he practiced this. I gave him one simple practice. Before he spoke in a tense moment, he had to ask himself one question. Will my next sentence make the other person feel safer or more threatened? This question is not about pleasing. It is about choosing a skillful method. If the other person feels threatened, their ego takes the wheel. Once ego drives, the conversation becomes war. War creates karma. Karma creates consequences. Consequences create suffering. If the other person feels safe, they can listen. Listening creates understanding. Understanding creates cooperation. Cooperation creates a smoother road. Ji Xing started to practice. In meetings, he stopped correcting people as performance. Instead of announcing mistakes, he asked questions that guided the group to see the problem themselves. When he needed to be direct, he used the calm tone. When he needed to challenge, he challenged the idea, not the person's dignity. Something surprising happened. People started inviting him into conversations again, not because he became a flatterer, but because he became safe. Safe does not mean weak. Safe means predictable and respectful. It means you do not explode emotionally. It means you do not embarrass people for entertainment. It means you do not punish others for being human. When you are safe, people relax. When people relax, they cooperate. When people cooperate, you stop wasting energy on friction. This is why socially skillful people look relaxed. They are not carrying the heavy cost of constant conflict. Now let me share another situation that many of you have experienced. Have you ever thought someone was your friend, and then at a critical moment, they said nothing for you? They did not defend you. They did not support you. They acted like they did not know you. Many people feel betrayed by this. They say, that person is disloyal. Sometimes that is true, but sometimes the unspoken rule is simpler. Most people will not risk themselves for someone who feels unstable. If helping you creates danger, people back away. If helping you creates drama, people back away. If helping you makes them a target, they back away. This is not always moral. It is human fear. So the question becomes, how do you become the kind of person that others can support safely? Not by sweet talk, not by manipulation, not by gifts that demand repayment. You become that person by being clean in your conduct. You keep your word. You stay emotionally steady. You do not create unnecessary enemies. You do not panic and drag others into your panic. You do not explode and then demand forgiveness. You are reliable. Reliability is a form of virtue. It is also a form of blessing. When you are reliable, people trust you. When people trust you, they become willing to stand with you. When they stand with you, your life becomes wider. This is social karma. It is built daily. Now, some of you might say, this feels unfair. Why should I do all that just so people help me? Because you are not doing it only for them. You are doing it for your own destiny. A person who is reliable gains inner stability. Inner stability reduces suffering. Reduced suffering increases clarity. Clarity increases wise choices. Wise choices open paths. This is how virtue becomes practical. Now let us talk about another unspoken rule that shows up everywhere. People do not help the person who tries to take all the credit. You might think this is obvious, but in real life, people violate it daily. They speak like every success is because of them. They shine too brightly too early. They grab the spotlight. They correct others in public. They show their power in small ways. They think this will earn respect. Sometimes it earns fear. But fear is not support. Fear is a temporary silence. In the long term, fear creates resistance. A wiser person does something different. They spread credit. They protect the dignity of others. They make others look good. They become the kind of person who brings people up instead of pushing them down. Some people call this politics. I call it compassion mixed with strategic wisdom. Because when you lift others, you create good karma. People want to repay kindness. They also want to stay near it. They trust you more. You do not need to fake humility. You simply need to remember that every success is built from conditions and people. When you remember that, arrogance becomes difficult, gratitude becomes natural, and gratitude is attractive. It makes your presence warm. Warmth opens doors more reliably than sharpness. Now let us address the question many viewers secretly want answered. What about the harder unspoken rules that sound harsh? Like do not reveal everything. Do not show your bottom line. Do not say yes too quickly. Do not make your weakness public. Do not let people see your full plan. These rules can sound cynical, but if we translate them into wisdom language, they become about boundaries. Boundaries are not lies. Boundaries are the protection of your kindness, your energy, your intentions, your resources, so they are not exploited. I will say it in plain English. You can be sincere without being careless. There is a difference between honesty and total exposure. Total exposure can become self-betrayal, especially in environments that are competitive or emotionally immature. I once watched two people negotiate a partnership. One person poured everything out, their plan, their resources, their difficulties, their hopes, their fears. They thought transparency would earn trust. The other person listened and said very little. They asked careful questions. They revealed just enough to build a bridge, but not enough to surrender control. After the meeting, the first person felt proud. They thought, I was so honest. Weeks later, they discovered the other person used their information to bargain harder and to gain leverage in other deals. They felt betrayed, but the deeper lesson is not to hate the other person. The deeper lesson is to become skillful. If you reveal everything too early, you invite pressure. If you reveal everything to everyone, you confuse trust with lack of discernment. Discernment is a spiritual quality. It is wisdom. In Buddhist practice, compassion is not blind. Compassion with no discernment becomes naive. Discernment with no compassion becomes cold. The middle way is to be warm and discerning. You can trust people in layers. You can be open about your values. You can be careful with your leverage. You can be kind with your tone. You can be firm with your boundaries. This is not paranoia. This is maturity. Now let us connect this to the idea of awakening. Because some viewers might wonder, why are we talking about social rules on a spiritual channel? Because spiritual practice is not escaping the world. Spiritual practice is staying clean inside the world. You can sit in meditation for hours and still destroy your karma with careless speech. You can chant prayers and still leak blessings through pride, anger, and lack of boundaries. The real test is not what you believe. The real test is how you act when things are messy and human. Can you keep your heart kind inside complexity? Can you stay truthful without humiliating? Can you protect yourself without harming others? Can you see the hidden rules without becoming dirty? That is practice. In Buddhist language, this is where ethics, concentration, and wisdom meet. Ethics is not harming with speech and action. Concentration is staying steady when emotions rise. Wisdom is seeing how people actually move and choosing skillful means. When ethics, concentration, and wisdom grow together, life becomes smoother not because the world becomes perfect, but because you stop creating unnecessary obstacles. This is the meaning of not leaking blessings. Now, let me bring you into a very common daily scene. You send a message. You try to be polite. You write, just checking in. Do you have time to help me with this? No reply. Hours pass. A day passes. You feel ignored. You feel angry. You feel ashamed. You start telling yourself stories. Then you see the person chatting warmly with someone else. You feel hurt. The written rule says they should reply. The unspoken rule might be different. They might feel your request is risky. They might feel your request is vague and could become a burden. They might feel you will blame them if it goes wrong. They might feel you only contact them when you need something. This is painful, but it is an invitation to wisdom. Instead of attacking, you can become clearer and kinder. You can ask with respect, and you can reduce the risk for the other person. You can say, if you have time, could you look at this for 10 minutes? If not, I understand. You can show appreciation. You can build the relationship when you do not need something to. This is not manipulation. This is basic human care. It is also karmic skill. Now let me say something that might sound simple but changes everything. Many unspoken rules are actually about safety. People support what feels safe. People avoid what feels unsafe. People resist what feels humiliating. People cooperate with what feels respectful. So if you want to move through society without being trapped, focus on becoming safe to deal with. Safe to deal with does not mean you accept disrespect. It means your behavior is not chaotic. You do not explode. You do not gossip carelessly. You do not betray trust. You do not shift mood unpredictably. You do not turn small issues into war. You repair when you make mistakes. Repair is another unspoken rule. People forgive those who repair. Not always, but often. If you make a mistake and pretend nothing happened, you create distrust. If you make a mistake and blame others, you create resentment. If you make a mistake and repair sincerely, you create respect. Sincere repair is rare. It is also a spiritual practice, because repair requires humility, and humility dissolves ego. Now, I want to talk about the most dangerous misunderstanding about unspoken rules. Some people think the goal is to learn them so you can win. Win what? Win attention, win status, win power. That is ego. Ego is never satisfied. So even if you win, you feel anxious. You keep playing. You keep chasing. You keep manipulating. Eventually, your heart becomes tired and your life becomes full of hidden enemies. That is a terrible destiny. The wiser goal is different. Learn unspoken rules so you can stop suffering unnecessarily and so you can protect goodness. Protect your time. Protect your peace. Protect your relationships. Protect your compassion. Protect your integrity. When your goodness is protected, you can actually be generous without being exploited. You can actually be open without being careless. You can actually be honest without being cruel. You can actually be strong without being hard. That is a good life. Now, I want to return to Zixing one more time, because his story has a beautiful ending that many people can relate to. After months of practice, he came back and told me something with surprise in his eyes. I thought social skill was fake, but now I see it can be kindness. He told me about a moment at work. A senior colleague made a mistake in a presentation. Zixing noticed it immediately. In the past, he would have corrected it in front of everyone, because he believed that was integrity. This time, he waited. After the meeting, he approached the colleague privately. He said, "I think your main point is strong. I noticed one detail that might confuse the audience. Can I show you a small adjustment?" The colleague looked relieved, not threatened. They thanked him. The next meeting, the colleague supported Zixing's idea publicly. Later, The colleague recommended Zi Xing for a valuable project. Zhu Xing told me. I did not even ask for that support. It just happened. Yes. That is how karma works. When you plant respect, you harvest support. When you plant humiliation, you harvest resistance. He also told me something more important. He said he felt lighter inside because he stopped fighting people. He started working with people. And that is why he became more free. Freedom is not always escaping rules. Sometimes freedom is understanding how things work so you stop crashing into walls. Now I want to speak to you directly, especially if you are the kind of person who feels proud of being blunt. Bluntness is not a virtue by itself. Bluntness can be ego. Bluntness can be impatience. Bluntness can be a hidden desire to dominate. Sometimes bluntness is just fear disguised as honesty. Ask yourself one question. When I speak directly, am I trying to help? Or am I trying to win? If you are trying to help, your tone will naturally soften even when your boundary is firm. If you are trying to win, your words will carry heat. Heat burns blessings. Now I also want to speak to the other side. If you are the kind of person who always tries to be nice, always avoids conflict, always fears rejection, always gives too much, always apologizes, always lets others step over you, that is also suffering. The unspoken rule here is that people respect boundaries. If you have no boundary, people do not always become kinder. Some become careless. So the middle way is important. You can be compassionate and still say no. You can be polite and still be firm. You can be understanding and still protect yourself. You can be generous and still require respect. This is spiritual adulthood. Now we are close to the end. And I want to bring everything together in a way that leaves you with something practical and clean. If you want to start today, do not try to memorize every social trick. That will make you anxious. Instead, train one root principle. Make people feel safe without losing your integrity. Safe means respectful. Safe means stable. Safe means you do not embarrass. Safe means you keep your word. Safe means you do not explode. Safe means you repair. When you become that kind of person, many unspoken rules begin to work for you naturally. Because you stopped triggering fear in others. You stopped creating enemies. You stop leaking blessings through careless speech and chaotic emotion. This is not about being perfect. This is about being awake. Awake means you see the impact of your energy and your words. When you are awake, you can choose skillful means. Skillful means is a beautiful phrase. It means you do the right thing in the right way, at the right time, with the right intention. That is wisdom. And wisdom protects destiny. Now I want to share a reflection that many of you might feel deeply. Some of the biggest regrets in life are not about money. They are about words. A moment of sharpness that broke a relationship. A moment of pride that created an enemy. A moment of impatience that closed a door. A moment of careless honesty that humiliated someone who would have supported you. These regrets are painful because they feel unnecessary. The good news is that the future can be different. Every time you pause before speaking, you change karma. Every time you protect a person's dignity while protecting truth, you change karma. Every time you set a boundary without contempt, you change karma. Every time you choose the middle way, you change karma. And over time, karma becomes destiny. Now I want to close with warmth and honesty. The world is complex. People are sensitive. Systems are imperfect. If you insist on living only by written rules, you might feel morally clean, but you might suffer more than you need to. If you chase only unspoken rules, You might gain short-term advantage, but you might lose your heart. The path of awakening is to be clear and kind at the same time. See the rules. Do not be swallowed by them. Understand people. Do not become cynical. Protect yourself. Do not harm others. Walk wisely. Walk compassionately. Now I want to hear from you. What is the most common invisible trap you keep stepping into in your life? Is it speaking too directly, reacting too fast, trusting too quickly, or having boundaries that are too soft? Share your story in the comments. Your experience may help someone else recognize their own pattern, and that recognition can be the first moment of freedom. If you found this long talk helpful, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It helps more people find these deeper conversations about awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, practice, and destiny. And if you want more consistent long-term support, you are welcome to become a channel member. Your support keeps these long videos coming. Thank you for watching. Keep your heart clean. Keep your mind clear. And I will see you in the next one. There comes a time when you realize you want something that belongs just to you. Something that brings comfort and keeps you connected to your inner world. Wall-crafted bracelet does exactly that. Quietly, softly, and consistently. If you felt drawn to any bracelet in this video, you'll find the purchase link in the video description and many more auctions in the channel's storefront. Because sometimes the smallest item can bring the biggest sense of peace.